With the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma.
And so it is. The assumed is really happening. Kyler Murray, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Oklahoma, at 5'10" and 1/8", just became the first overall pick in this draft, sending the Arizona Cardinals potentially to the trade block for Josh Rosen, as we all expect. And Cliff Kingsbury, when he said that he would make Kyler Murray the first overall pick in the NFL draft, given that chance, has made it happen.
And when we found out that they had the #1 pick that first day, we thought they would go get somebody to tackle Russell Wilson. They just said, forget that, we're going to go find our own Russell Wilson. And that's what they did here with Kyler Murray. There's going to be bumps in the road for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. But Kurt, they just became must-see TV next year to watch what this kid does.
Right, without a question. And you just mentioned it. Is just a week ago, the guy that was 5'10", that a lot of people wondered, could you be a franchise guy? He's got the highest paid, and became the highest paid quarterback in National Football League history. And that's exactly what they're banking on, is that even if he's not a great pocket passer right off the bat, can he be special like he was on tape, like he was in college? Can he run around and make those Russell Wilson-type plays at big moments in games?
All right, let's take a look at Kyler Murray and what gets you fired up. You want somebody to drive the ball outside the numbers? No problem. A flat, firm ball. How about some touch? Show me a little bucket throw down here in the red zone. Drop that one in beautifully. You get a free rusher, you got some chaos, no problem. Climb up, watch his throw on the move. Watch him elevate this ball against Alabama. That's one of the best throws you'll see this entire year. Now you've got a busted assignment. You've got offensive linemen running into each other. Okay, maybe we throw it away, run out of bounds, 5 yards. No, he's going 60 and taking this thing to the house. Now this is the concern. Every now and then wants to do a little too much, trying to get a big play every play, and you force things and you turn the ball over. That's going to be the challenge.
Second pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State.
So Nick will play his ball out on the West Coast in Northern California, and we all know his brother plays it in Southern California. His father also a first-round selection, so the Bosas, you'll see in a second, join some pretty respectable company in the NFL in that department. And DJ, you were telling me that scouts throughout the NFL were drooling over this kid being a prospect coming in, and now he's in the National Football League.
Last year, you remember when Sam Darnold was coming out, people were critical of how he played against Ohio State. That guy walking right there is why he didn't play well in that game. He hit him repeatedly. He dominated when he was on the football field. Needs to stay healthy, but everything I've heard is he is 100% healthy and ready to go. I think the 49ers just got the best football player in this year's draft.
And you think about what they did up front. They spent a lot of money on that defensive front, but now you've got D Ford who can rush on one side. You've got Bosa on the other side. DeForest Buckner, who had 12 sacks last year. And Coach, as you mentioned, right, you got Solomon Thomas, who's been playing defensive end. He can now move inside where he's at his best. Absolutely.
And we get to Nick Bosa. Look, it is the family business. Get a chance to watch his brother Joey each and every week. The hands and the hips, they're off the charts. The only concern, the durability, with some of the time that he's missed. Let's look at the comparison between the brothers. How about a little double hand swipe from Nick? And if that looks familiar, working against Maryland here, get that swipe and finish. It's because you've seen Big Brother do the exact same thing. Ironically, on this one, looks like the former quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals and Josh Rosen. How about a little forklift? Lift that wrist up in the air. That hand-to-hand combat. That's what the Bosa boys are so good at, working against TCU, get home and force the fumble. And Joey's been doing that since he got into the league, the exact same move. They are technicians. They can win with a little quickness off the edge, and they can go right through your pads. They're slightly different players. I think Nick plays with a little more power and a little more leverage. He can even kick inside and rush over a guard if you want, but it's going to be fun to watch him in that defensive front. You mentioned it, Kurt. They've got some assets up front now for this defense.
With the third pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Quentin Williams, nose tackle, Alabama.
So it is a member of the Crimson Tide that is going to play for the New York Jets, heading off to New Jersey tonight. Quentin Williams is as good as they come, and he's heading his way to take on the rest of the AFC East.
Every single game, the most dominant player on the field was Quentin Williams. You watch Alabama play, you can't take your eyes off him. This, to me, was the best player available, the second best player in the draft. I thought this was a home run pick for the Jets. And now you look at this defense up the middle. Ozzie Newsome used to always say, you build that defense up the middle, coach. You remember those days. Absolutely. Leonard Williams, Quentin Williams up front. You go sign C.J. Mosley to be that alpha dog in the middle of your defense, and you've got Jamal Adams, one of the best young safeties in the NFL. That's pretty darn good.
I'm looking at my sheet right now, and it doesn't make sense. I see 6'3", 303 pounds, 8'3", 40 yards. He's too big, he's too fast, and it's exactly what Daniel said a little while ago. This kid has no idea how good he's going to be when he's 25 years old. This guy could be scary. He's got the world by the palm of his hand, and I wish him the best.
All right, when I talk about him being dominant, I can show you what I'm talking about, because it is enjoyable. I like to just put my feet up. I'm a big popcorn guy. I like to have a little popcorn when I watch Quentin Williams, because watch him just dominate on this tape against good competition. That's a draftable center working half a man, get right around him for a sack. Early in the year, a lot of one-on-ones. Another draftable center immediately wins right now. Get back in the backfield and make a play. Now he starts getting some double teams and triple teams later in the year, and bodies start flying, and he still finds a way to get home. Working again. Two guys are not going to be able to stop Quentin Williams. He splits them and collects a tackle for loss. And then they said, well, let's throw a running back at him. Well, thanks a lot for that assignment. If you're that running back, no shot whatsoever.
With the 4th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Clelin Ferrell, defensive end, Clemson.
Big 99 with a sack.
Clelin Ferrell, defensive end.
And Clelin Ferrell gets the sack.
The 2018 ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, this might be a surprise to a lot of people, not see Clelin Ferrell going this high, but he's a very productive football player, a power rusher, plenty of effort. Reminded me a little bit of Matt Judon when I watched him on tape. He can win with power. He's played big on the big stage. You look at what he did against Jonah Williams. That's one of the reasons why Jonah Williams, a talented tackle for Alabama, people had concerns, because Ferrell got after him last year and this year. Most people had him pegged in that 20 range, maybe a little bit earlier. But guys, I'll tell you this. I did my homework and talked to all these scouts. I got a chance to do my homework on Clelin Ferrell. I talked to his high school coach. I talked to college coaches, teammates. He had the highest character of anybody that I spoke to in this year's draft. And Mike Mayock made the comment in his first press conference, we need foundational players.
With the 5th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Devin White, linebacker, LSU.
All right. So Devin White's going to bring his game and his horseback riding to Tampa, Florida, and go try and hunt down some NFC South quarterbacks. What do you think, DJ?
Makes a lot of sense. When you lose Quan Alexander in free agency, he signed a big money deal with the San Francisco 49ers. They went out and found, in my opinion, an upgrade over Quan Alexander. Both played at LSU. This is a player with tremendous range, sideline to sideline, and he can cover. You look at that division, you've got to deal with Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey. Your linebackers, coach, they better be able to run and cover.
By the way, you see the boot situation? The three-piece suit boot combination right here by Devin White? This is neat. Sorry, I had to point out the footwear, coach.
Oh, no problem at all. This kid is fast, right? He's a new school linebacker, I like to call him. He's a sideline-to-sideline guy. You don't see those big, physical inside linebackers or weird those guys anymore. He's got to cover. He can scrape and hit. He can scrape sideline to sideline. You see him cover tight end. You see him cover backside of the backfield. This guy is a difference maker on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's a fun player to watch, and when you study him, some things just jump off the screen to you when you're watching that LSU tape. The range, we've talked about it, but even off the field, you talk to everybody. Character, leadership, off the charts. The only problem is he's got to beat blockers in spots because he can get hung up a little bit on blocks. What am I talking about? Explosive sideline to sideline range. Boom! he delivers a huge blow. He flows through traffic. This is what I'm talking about, beating blockers to spots. Don't take them on if you don't have to. Just beat them to the spot. And once he arrives as a tackler, watch this lawnmower right here. Pull that cord and rip the ball out. Generate a big-time play. Now you see him chest up in the hole. He's a firm tackler. He can get downhill. And again, coming inside as a blitzer. You can blitz him from depth or you can blitz him from off.
Yeah,
With the 6th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Daniel Jones, quarterback, Duke.
So they do love a quarterback, and it's the kid from Duke. Daniel Jones is coming to New York, and obviously they know what it's like to get a Cutcliffe-type product in their house. Obviously, Cutcliffe is a Manning family teacher in a way, obviously, and Cutcliffe is sending Daniel Jones to the pros as the 6th overall pick in the draft.
I thought David Gettleman tipped his hand a little bit today when he said, he was asked about the important traits in a quarterback, and he said they have to be able to adjust to adversity, and he said not many quarterbacks in this draft have faced adversity on the field. When you're playing at Duke, Daniel Jones did not play with a player that's been drafted in the NFL during his time as a starter. He was not surrounded by all the talent. He got beat up. He's faced that adversity. I think that was a big deal to Dave Gettleman.
well, and I think when you look at these quarterbacks too, go ahead, DJ. Take it.
Yeah, look, this is a player ideal size and athleticism. He can really move around. I mentioned that limited support. The question is, where does he fall on the range? Is he Ryan Tannehill? That's the floor. You're hoping he's Matt Ryan. He's a very nice deep ball thrower, lots of air. He's more touch than he is drive power throws. You see the deep ball right there, down in the red zone. Again, watch the ball placement and the touch. Put that one right over the shoulder in a very tight window. The toughness inside the pocket. He faced a lot of pressure against the competition he faced, be able to extend plays. They wanted to get a little more mobile than Eli Manning they have with Daniel Jones. Again, down in the red zone, watch him show his competitiveness right here and fight his way in.
With the 7th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Josh Allen, defensive end, Kentucky.
That's his best player available. That's a smart pick. Take the best player available. They didn't get it out of Dante Fowler, ended up trading him to the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to take another crack at it here in the top 10, see if they can't find a pass rusher. I think this is great value where they found him. I thought the 3rd best player in the draft.
Yeah, going into this, I thought they were going to go offensive tackle as well. He thought their defense was pretty secure top to bottom. Go offensive tackle and sure things up. But as you said, I don't think they expected Josh Allen to be here at this point. This is the best player on our board, and we're going to knock it off, and that's how we're going to draft. This is a great move. It's a great football player.
You talk about having length and athleticism on the edge. This guy is fast, ran a 4.6. But as tall and long as he is, he can get low and really bend the edge. He creates issues for tackles with his get off, and he's got a great stiff arm that can collapse the pocket from the outside in.
His son Wesley is in his arm as he's being drafted. His jacket kind of looks like a Jaguar.
It is.
I mean, it kind of works. It all works. And he's a guy that a lot of people think it could have been 3rd overall in this draft.
Again, he's an elite player, the 3rd overall player on my board. And you look at what he does, he's versatile. We talk about him as a rusher. You're going to see some video of what he does in coverage. He's ultra productive. My comparison was Anthony Barr. Look at that coming off the edge. There's a little glimpse of the explosiveness. Now, when you get to the top of your pass rush, can you bend and flatten? That's what he does so well, and he gets the football out. Use those long arms again at the top of your rush. This guy was a fumble forcing machine. Now, how about some effort? Go run, chase plays outside the numbers, show you that effort. Now is a zone dropper. Instinctive, athletic, get your hand on the football. And one of my favorite plays, this is Jay Sternberger, a tight end we'll see tomorrow, mirroring him on a corner route.
With the 8th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select T.J. Hockenson, tight end, Iowa.
Well, Well, when you're Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, and you were in New England and watched what Rob Gronkowski could do as an inline tight end, you appreciate a guy like T.J. Hockenson. Now, he's not Rob Gronkowski. He's not that big. He's not quite that athletic. But he is a dominant run blocker, and he's more than adequate in the passing game. Gets open, catches everything. He's going to be great in the red zone. They put a lot of resources into the offensive line, and now they get basically another offensive lineman. That's how good this kid is in the run game.
And you guys know how much we love tight ends at Stanford. I watched this film. I couldn't get enough. I love the way this kid plays. Reminded me a lot of Zach Ertz in the passing game, where you can talk. But this guy can run a 4.7. He's fast. He's explosive. But this guy gets open repeatedly on everybody. Deep routes, short routes, underneath routes, and he will stick his face in your face and block you at the line of scrimmage.
Well, and you just love, as you said, the flexibility here, because they need to continue to improve the run game to help Matthew Stafford. But the biggest mismatch in football is a good tight end. I mean, you look at Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, and now this kid on the inside. I love the weapons that they put around Matthew Stafford.
All right, let's get a chance to take a look at T.J. Hockenson and what I love about his game. Again, he's my favorite player in the draft. He's not the best player in the draft, but he's my favorite player in this year's draft class. Dominant in the run game. He's a savvy, underrated route runner, in my opinion. Heath Miller and Jason Witten, those are the two names that came to mind when I watched him. Let's take a look at the video. Watch him flex down here on a crossing route. Again, get a little bit of leverage at the top of your route. A slight little push off, create some space. That's what those good tight ends do. After the run, why don't you finish your run? How's this? Puts you down. But watch the athleticism. He can hurdle you as well. An underrated athlete. Chance to see him working on play action here. A little corner route. Release, track the ball. He's got outstanding hands. You rarely see him drop the football, but this is what's so fun to watch. Watch him at the point of attack, the way he gets after defensive ends, linebackers, and secondary. What am I talking about? How about this? I don't think he put him on the ground. I think he almost put him through the ground. One more look. This is against the Indiana Hoosiers.
Oh, my word.
I believe that's illegal in the state of Indiana. But
with the 9th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, Houston.
That was an easy one for the Buffalo Bills. Ian mentioned it. I had heard going up to 3 for either Quentin Williams or Ed Oliver. And look, they were patient. They sat right where they were, and Ed Oliver fell right into their lap. They need some more pass rush. He's going to give them that from the inside, and they'll turn him loose. It was frustrating, Kurt, to watch him on college tape. They would play him head up over the center, line him up blocked, as I like to reference it. This guy's going to get in the gap and on the edge of a guard, and he's going to be a nightmare for teams to deal with.
Well, and I know everybody loved Quentin Williams, and rightfully so. He was great. This guy reminded me more of Aaron Donald than anybody in this draft. He is explosive. He's low. He can play with his hands. I love this big. And as you said, he played out of position. And the thing we have to remember, too, right, is they play in the AFC East. What do we always say about Tom Brady? What gives him the most problems? Interior pressure, up the middle. Buffalo just got a guy that can create pressure up the middle. This is such a great look here.
What do you think, Coach?
Harrison Phillips from Stanford was drafted a year ago as well. A big physical guy, matched now with this speed rusher. The other thing that's really underrated about this guy, he's almost impossible to cut off on the backside of runs. He's a great pass rusher, a great penetrator, but you're running away from him, you can't cut him off on the backside.
Your guy Harrison Phillips can do the dirty work, and they can cut him loose.
Absolutely.
He's going to be fun to watch. When he is rolling, he is dynamic. Inside, outside flex. You can play him up and down the line of scrimmage. I like talking to the old scouts, and they gave me John Randall. They said, forget Aaron Donald. He's not Aaron Donald. He reminds them more of John Randall. Here he is playing over the nose, a little stack and shed, get off a block, and make a play. You cannot cut him off from the backside. Trying to reach around and block him, you've got no shot. He's just too quick. He's too explosive. Now, how about the hands? You got any pop in your hands? Extend, separate, find the ball carrier, and finish with a tackle. And this is what he's going to get to do more of at the next level. Get upfield and rush.
With the 10th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Devin Bush, linebacker, Michigan.
There you go. Devin Bush, to be honest with you, one of the fastest players at the position I've seen since I've been watching Michigan since I went to the school there in 1986. And he's going to go out there, and if you try and mess with him pregame, he's going to stomp on your logo, and he's going to go hunt somebody down for you. I also like his outfit right here. Quite a presence. And also you played with his dad, right?
I did, yeah. We won a Super Bowl together many years ago, but it's so cool to see this. I think it's a perfect fit. We talk about them jumping up. Cincy was another team that needed a linebacker. He would have been a great fit if Cincy was coming up next. They jumped their rival to get the player that they wanted.
I think it's funny that Jim Harbaugh's favorite player is now John Harbaugh's least favorite player when he's going to go up against Lamar Jackson, chasing him all over the field. Look, there are two big-time linebackers. I don't think there's much difference between Devin White and Devin Bush. What do you love about him? It's pretty simple. You start with leadership at that position, which is huge. Twitch up, explosive. If you've seen Denzel Perriman, some of the hits he delivers, Devin Bush does the same thing. He's just a faster player. A chance to roll the tape and look at him. Watch him in man coverage. Watch his ability to run right here. Get over the top. Close that space in a heartbeat with his burst and range. Now, how about the instincts? Can you snip out a screen, be able to read it, get underneath the block, find the ball carrier, and be a firm chest-up tackler? Now let's look at him in coverage. As a zone dropper, he's outstanding. Be able to read the eyes of the quarterback, get your hands on the football. As a blitzer, offensive linemen are going to have a problem with his quickness, and he'll just flat out run over running backs. See a clear run through there for a sack. He's a perfect Pittsburgh.
And they gave up their second-round pick tomorrow night, 52nd overall, and a third-round pick in next year's draft to move up 10 spots.